Later this morning, House Speaker Mike Johnson will face his first steps in avoiding a government shutdown as the House is set to vote on his two-tiered continuing resolution plan. House Speaker Mike Johnson joins us this morning. Mr. Speaker, it's great to have you on, finally on Squawk Box. Welcome. Good to see you.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
I don't think it's the same as a president gets 100 days that we got to decide how it's going. I think we need to cut that down for a speaker, don't we? Just with the way things have been working. How long do you think you got before we judge you? Are you already beyond that period?
I think I may be judged this morning. We'll find out. I've been on the job less than 3 weeks, but it's been like drinking from Niagara Falls. But, look, we're in good shape. What the House Republicans are committed to is changing the way Washington works. We have to. We're in this economic moment right now that has become a real crisis. I mean, you all talk about it all the time. You're educating your viewers to let them know that $33.6 trillion in federal debt is not sustainable. The Moody's downgrading of our credit rating is a very serious issue. And the reason that all these things are happening is because Washington is obsessed with deficit spending. These are the pains of Bidenomics, and we have to change it, and we're putting a flag in the ground to do that.
There's plenty of blame to go around, obviously. Bidenomics hasn't helped, but you're well aware of the deficits that we ran in the Trump administration as well. I know, Mr. Speaker. I'll tell you what one thing that this would keep us open, but, I mean, aren't we going to have to come back to these very difficult, intractable issues 2 more times in January and February? If we do it this way, aren't we just sort of delaying some of the hard decisions that need to be made, some of the tough negotiations that are going to need to be made?
Well, listen, we're rolling our sleeves up, and we're looking forward to those tough decisions and those hard negotiations. If we don't do the two-step, the ladder CR, as we're calling it, it's a real innovation. It's a paradigm shift for how Washington works. But what that will do is allow us to actually have those fights, have those debates, to do it out in the open so the American people can see it. If we don't do that, what is going to happen, and what would have happened here again, is another dreaded Christmas omnibus spending bill. This has been the habit here for decades now, for a long time, as long as I've been in Congress and before, where the Senate jams the House right before the Christmas holiday with a giant bill that's thousands of pages long that very few people have read, and spends, last year $1.7 trillion, adding $100 billion in new spending, just sprinkling that on top. That is no way to run a railroad. And so this innovation, this laddered CR that we're doing, prevents that from happening. And I think we'll have bipartisan agreement that that is a better way to do it, to have the actual appropriations process. I began that immediately after I got the gavel, but here we are on the eve of November 17th. We have a shutdown looming, and we've got to prevent that, because that would do even more harm for the economy.
Can you just historically explain how we got away from proposing a budget and living within our means the way it used to be done? How many, you said since you've been there, how many times have we done the omnibus before Christmas, and how did we get there?
Well, it's all I've ever known. I've been in Congress 7 years, but it happened way before that. The process, the appropriations process in Washington has been broken for decades. We're trying to fix it. I've been on the job for less than 3 weeks, and this is a necessary first step to do it. But the way that we got away from that, there's a law, there's a statute, a whole list of statutes that are cobbled together in the Budget Control Act of 1974. That's almost as old as I am. And Congress made the law, set forth the dates. The president is supposed to present a budget in early February. Congress begins its process. It's very methodical. June and July are supposed to be the appropriations kind of season. You finish it all up by the end of June in that time frame, and then there's plenty of time to do it before the end of the fiscal year. That hasn't happened. I think lawmakers get lazy. I think that they like to punt these decisions as long as possible, and that is no way to do it, because governing by continuing resolutions is not a healthy thing for an economy. It's required us and has resulted in spending a lot more money than should be spent because there's not proper oversight. If we do the laddered CR, and I think we'll pass this, it will allow us to consider spending in smaller batches. That's good financial stewardship. That's what the process requires. That's what the American people should demand, instead of doing it all in one big giant bill. And I think that makes sense to the American people, and I think they're going to support us in that.
You must be at least hearing from the other side about some support. We heard from Leader Schumer about it. I don't know whether Leader Jeffries has weighed in yet, but how many do you expect to lose out of in your caucus? Will it be for lack of a better term, I still call those 8 guys the crazy 8 because the former speaker labeled it Gates and the crazy 8. Maybe that's not fair, but will you get any of those guys? How many Democrats do you expect to be on your side here? And you know, that was like the cardinal sin or the mortal sin that Speaker McCarthy, I guess, was guilty of, and he lost his job because of it. You're allowed to deal with Democrats at this point, Mr. Speaker? It's your honeymoon. Does it feel like a honeymoon?
No, not much of a honeymoon in this job. The crises are too great. But here's the thing. What we're doing now is a little bit different than what Kevin was presented with. He was in a jam as well. But by breaking this up and doing the CR the way that we are, it's a new shift. Yesterday you had on my colleague Andy Harris, who's a Freedom Caucus member. Dr. Harris, this was originally his idea, and we credit him with that and others who worked on it. But I think it's a real innovation, and so it's different. This is a different thing than we've done before. I hate CRs as much as everyone does. It is not the way you're supposed to do it. And we're going to get right back to the regular budgeting process and that statutory outline that I just recounted for you. We're going to start that next year. We're not going to do this again. We're not doing this under my leadership. And I think we have a moment to change how it's done. With regard to the whip count, I'm not sure yet. This morning, in about an hour or so, I'll go in with all the House Republicans. Hakeem Jeffries will go meet with all the Democrats, and we'll figure out the final numbers. I'm working on the guys and the 8 that are all my dear friends and everybody across the conference. Yep. I want all Republicans to vote on this because this is the first step in making real change in the chaos here.